Isa sa atin na dugo. Hmm? हो गया मेरा
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the webinar, and a warm welcome to everyone. This webinar is brought to you by eAge Tutors, which comes under the leadership of Mr. Chandra Madan. We also have him on the webinar. Mr. Chandra Madan brings in 4 decades of rich corporate experience, starting from NIIT to HP to now heading eAge Group. So the basic reason that we are here to explore the transformative Pro-Fit course, a course which is tailor-made, is designed to evaluate and elevate the working professional by focusing on their overall development. Whether you are looking for to sharpen your skills or fast track your career growth, this particular webinar is going to be delivering valuable insight and actionable advice to every one of you, right? During this webinar, I request everyone to please be on mute, and also if you have any questions, if you have any doubts that you would want to ask, please drop in your questions in the chat box. We'll be addressing them during the question and answer sessions. And before we even start with it, I would like Mr. Madan to have a few words, and then we can shoot up with the questions that we have received from the social media platform of ours.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar. And as Akshit mentioned, we are going to talk about, our professionally fit program. How do you become professionally fit? The way the structure is going to work, Akshit is going to ask me a few questions. I'll try to answer to the best of my ability, and then we will open up for question. This is, I think, once in a lifetime opportunity for you guys to learn more about the program that eAge runs for your professional development, and that's why it's called Pro-Fit. It has two meanings, of course: professionally fit, and you can profit from Pro-Fit, right? So, which means may your earnings rise by doing this program, and that's the whole objective. So we'll walk you through on some of the key points of the program, highlights, what are the benefits, why you should do it, and Akshit is going to go through that through a quick Q&A session, question and answer session, and then later on we will open up for questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Madan. So, Mr. Madan, the one question that I personally have that I would like to ask before even going and shooting up the questions that the audience has requested us. Mr. Madan, what do you think are the top 3 skills or areas that you believe professional needs to develop to stay competitive in today's job market? Because it being very rapid, it being very explosive. What do you think would be the 3 top skills or the areas that professional needs to be very active or very developed there?
Yeah, so I think there are 3 skills, but they all evolve around communication, right? I would say ability to articulate and say what you have done, or communicate your results, performance, your points. I think that's one. Second, so I think anybody, you could have great technical skills, great. I think you can work hard. You can uh, you can be very, very dependable. That's great. I think it all boils down to how you articulate, how you present yourself, and how do you communicate. So basically, it's all about communication. Okay. I mean, I'm saying in three different skills, but it actually is only one. Because no point if you have a lot of knowledge, lot of gyan, if you may call it that way, and you aren't able to, get that message across to your audience, okay, is of no use. So I think communication skills in articulation, which means knowing. So communication is, saying what you need to say. Articulation is saying it in a way that the other person gets it, meaning they understand it. And third is presentation, which means how do you present yourself? How do you present your idea, present your point, present your thoughts? I think are the three critical skills, in my humble opinion, that are very, very critical for professionals to stay competitive. Just to give you an example, um, you know, anybody can learn what to write or write an email through using AI. Okay, ChatGPT, for example. But if you don't apply your mind, critical thinking in terms of, how to communicate that, I think you have lost the battle. So I think the whole idea about being successful is you're able to communicate what you want to say, you are able to articulate it in a way that other people get it, and number three, you present it in a way that the message goes across. So I would say these are kind of three uh, major skills, but the core of all this is communication.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So articulation, communication, and presentation is something that is something that you think that are the major skills that we people will have to work upon, and we surely have a lot of audience going on in this now. So the second question, or rather, I would say the first question that I have from the audience now, uh, Mr. Madan, people are very inspired by the journey that you have lived up about 4 decades in your corporate life. So can you share a little about your journey and how your 40 years of corporate experience shaped the vision behind the Profit course?
Yeah. So, I started working at a very early age. So 48 does not mean I'm old. Okay. So just to clarify that point, actually. So I think in terms of jokes aside, um, so just to give you an example, I had very, very humble beginnings. Went to a municipal corporation school in Delhi where uh, I think the English was taught in grade 6. So I learned how to write ABC in grade 6. Um, uh, and fast forward a couple of years, I joined a company called NIIT, and then Hewlett Packard, which is HP, that makes computers and printers. And the uh, very first time when I got into the HP job, I didn't know how to speak in English, right? So that was very, very difficult. But I had no choice but to get exposed to the variety of nationalities, variety of uh, people who only communicated in English. And I was forced in the environment and immersed in the environment of a very different set of communication where you have people from all the multinational countries, working in a group. So fast forward, HP career, uh, uh, had to leave, rather landed in Hong Kong in 96, landed in Singapore in 98. And while I was doing all that, hard work grinder in a corporate job, where I got to meet, um, I would say, a lot of nationalities. And the uh, only way to uh, progress in the career was right communication. And because we were different nationalities working with each other, the only common language was English. Okay. Now, I'm not saying if you just know English, you will conquer the world without knowing the substance, right? You need to know your subject, you need to know your substance. But the point I'm trying to make here is that where the life took me in various parts of the world, uh, I learned that uh, picking up English or picking up any language, be it English, be it other languages, was only a factor of how much you are immersed into it, meaning what is your exposure to the communication, what is your exposure to the language. Whether it was in India, Hong Kong, Singapore, and then uh, multiple countries that I had the uh, uh, privilege to travel to, including US and UK. So uh, I think a couple of learnings in that. Number one, you need to immerse in the environment to learn any language. Okay, and that's absolutely clear, absolutely uh, important. And you can start as young as we see Salil on the video, right? Uh, so you need to immerse yourself in the environment to pick up any language. And number two, uh, you're beginning to be humble. It doesn't matter where you come from. I think it is very important where you're heading, right? And what sort of skills do you use to get ahead? So, apart from the hard work and commitment and passion and persistence, all of that plays a part. But in all of these, I picked up uh, the skills, communication skills, by immersing in the environment, number one. Number two, I had no choice sometime forcefully learning English. Uh, and, whatever little I can speak now, I think is the result of the exposure I got. And number three, uh, you know, I I only had to learn communication skills for my particular function. So I spent a lot of my time in finance before I became an entrepreneur. So I think I used a lot of, uh, I picked up the years of experience, and the immersion to learn communication skills that are required for a finance job. So when I started eAge, I thought, why don't I use my life's learning to design a course that is immersive, that is job and function specific, and that is getting people to get ahead by uh, better, if I may call it, communication skills, right? And that's how Profit course was born. So I would say this has kind of research of last 40 years that has gone into it, and it's very, very practical. And as I said, we'll talk more about the program, but the course is more based on practical knowledge. It's customized for audience, and it covers things like, because business communication comes along with other things like, so as I said, how you are able to articulate, how you're able to present, and what are the etiquettes you are able to demonstrate. So, for example, a simple etiquette, right? Many of us who are on the call, if you have been to foreign countries, right? one simple etiquette is, if you are, let's say, entering into an office or a hotel or a bus or a train, or let's say if you're entering into a hotel or office, you hold the door for a person who's coming behind you, right? That etiquette probably is not even taught in India, right? Um, if you are getting into a train, you let the other people, deboard first before you board the train. That's a global etiquette that's required all across the world. I think in India, because of population, because of me first mentality, I think if a bus or a metro is coming through, we are all, jumping into the into the train or the bus first, right? These are I would call hygiene factors um, that are developed by experience, that are becoming part of your DNA by experience. But more importantly, I think um, once you have exposure to the English language, once you have exposure to the better communication skills, um, you have a chance of progressing better in the career. Uh, uh, and I think that's what we try to bring into this course, um, with a lot of experience that we have built over a period of time. So I think you guys must take advantage of this if you haven't, and I think it's very, very clear that you may have humble beginning, but your ending can't be. Ending has to be a superstar. Uh, I'm not saying I'm one, but I think one can always make it by the right attitude, by the right passion, by the right commitment, and I think immersing in an environment and able to communicate your point well is definitely a great asset for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan, to give us a highlight of the program. Um, and I can understand by this that this is not just a program that is just meant by teachers. It is an additional program which talks about experience, which talks about etiquettes, which talks about business communication and all other things. So, Mr. Madan, like now that this course is all about business communication and all other things that we have, how is this program, how is Profit course different from other professional development training programs that are available today, and why should one take it?
So I think, yeah, a couple of things. As I said, it's um, uh, as I said earlier, this has been based upon the research of last 40 years. Number one. Number two, um, in this program, uh, it's customized. So if you're an accountant, if you are a salesperson, or if you are a web designer, a nurse, doctor, teacher, the way we run this course is we will customize it for you, because our intention is to see you successful in your career, right? So um, our idea is, so the program is run in such a way that it helps you get apt at the communication skill in the domain that you are working on. So for example, if you're a teacher, we won't talk about finance, sales. We will talk about, how to conduct a parent-teacher meeting. Um, if you're a professor, how do you deal with adolescents um, in a proper, how do you communicate with them? And if you are a salesperson, we'll talk about English communication for sales. Or if you are a school-going kid, we will help you prepare how to deal with the communication skills in school as an idea. So I think heavily customized for you, number one. Number two, we cover the very practical nuances of the program. And we just don't download, vocabulary and grammar and, all the theory on you. We walk you through the program. We train you on the program using, um, role plays, using group discussion. So in our classes, 80% of the time you will speak and 20% of the time teacher will talk. Okay. It's not the other way around. Okay. It's not a Gyan session. It is a session where, um, you get to learn from the peer, from the teachers, from your classmates, because you are discussing, you are communicating, you are having an interaction with your classmates. Only then you're going to learn, right? So it's practical, it's interaction based, it's about you. And number 4 is heavily customized. So if you are an accountant, we'll talk about what is good for you in English, what makes more sense for you. If you are in sales, we'll talk about English for sales, and if you are in IT, we'll talk about English for IT as an idea. So, for example, in the IT space, if you're a developer, if you're a coder, you should not be learning about Shakespeare or literature for that matter. You should be learning more about coding, bugs, how do you ask for extension with the project manager, etc., etc. So it's very practical, very customized, and it's for your success, not for a theoretical knowledge. We will give you a certificate and say, I scored 90%. No, your success, we measure our success by how many careers we have made, how many people have got a better job out of this, how many people have gone ahead in the career, how many people have got an increment because of the communication skills getting better, or how many people have gone outside the country because they can now speak better. So profit program is not about just certificates and marks and whatever. It's all about it's all about your success in a very customized way and in a very progressive way.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, sir, for this. Because we know that this program has been running for years now with us, can you share a success story where the Profit course significantly impacted somebody's career path, or maybe they've gotten, as you mentioned, they've gotten out of country. So if so that can be an inspiring story for every other participant here.
Yeah, so there are a number of stories I can share. I mean, I can tell you a professor or a professor in Jammu. He came to us. He didn't know how to communicate well with his students in English, and he was he was an impeccable and confident speaker by the time he finished the program. We had a lawyer from Jharkhand who took our program, and I think was very happy with with the program. Then you can see a lot of techies come to us, who a lot of techies come to us who would like to speak to, who would like to learn how to speak to the clients in US and UK. I think they have been very successful. We have a lot of nurses, by the way, doing IELTS and OET program with us, and they have found jobs in United Kingdom, London, right? So many stories. We have a lot of students who have built confidence in the early stages of the career, and now they are confident speakers. So I think many stories. I can share countless stories with you, but I think the key one I have seen is somebody getting a job in the foreign country because they could improve the communication skills and because they could ace the IELTS exam through our process. I think those are some very humble success stories I'm happy to share.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Madan. So this is for everyone. I mean, getting ahead in your careers is not just advancing in the particular field that you are. You can very well do that by enrolling in this course initially, and then of course enhancing your communication skills. Mr. Madan, you mentioned that a lot of techies also come in and take your course. So one thing that I have just received as a question, that with AI and automation changing the job landscape, how is this course prepare professionals? I mean, AI is taking over and automation is also taking over. So how is this course relevant in today's?
No, I think a good point, and I'm sure ChatGPT can write a lot of our emails and uh, teach us how to speak, etc. I think I would say that use this in combination with AI. So, for example, AI will tell you what to write in an email, but you need to apply the critical thinking skills to uh, frame the communication with your audience. Okay. So, this course will help you develop critical thinking skills that are required to communicate impeccably well in all situations. Theory, I think, can be given by AI or ChatGPT, but this course will teach you how to apply that theory, in practice. So I would say ChatGPT or AI is a boon for learners, because now you don't have to worry about uh, learning the basic stuff. You can always check. So, for example, uh, how do you communicate in corporate on day one? How do you write English exams? How do you write IELTS exam? How do you answer visa questions? Some of this can be very easily available on ChatGPT or AI. But how do you communicate? How do you write? I think the course helps you develop critical thinking skills. Um, I am not saying AI is not going to be helpful or AI always going to replace this. Um, quite frankly, um, if you want to get ahead and remain ahead, I think I will use AI as a supplementary tool, not as a replacement tool for English learning, because I feel the immersion that you go through, the experience, the learning by speaking yourself, framing your own sentences, is always uh, going to be very helpful in getting your point across. See, it's like some of you maybe will resonate with this. Uh, if you crammed in old days, of course, this was a good joke. If you crammed uh, uh, essay of my best friend, right, and the essay in the question is uh, my father, right? So what will somebody do? Right? Typical line, right? I have many friends. For friends, you'll say I have many friends. My best friend is, let's say, Akshat, right? Somebody who doesn't apply the mind will say I have many fathers, but my best father is Ram Sarup.
Mm.
What a disaster you're making, right? So that's why I think you need to apply critical thinking skills. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you learn the core foundation of communication skills, English, then you'll say, hey, this is a father's essay. I cannot apply what I cram for a friend to a father's essay, right? Um, of course, I'm giving a very, very crude example of how people can make mistakes. But uh, you know, so the whole idea is use AI to supplement, but not exactly replace your teacher or your learning process. Because while AI will give you theoretical skills, as I said, the course will give you critical thinking skills to get ahead.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So, I mean, for everyone, this is the course is a complementary, is a catalyst for you to use AI, for you to use automation in a right way, right? So, Mr. Madan, that you've rightly mentioned that this course talks about practical learning, practical elements. If you can just tell us more about what are the practical elements of this course and how do they enhance the learning process for any individual?
Yeah, so I think I covered a lot of this already, but let me just summarize it for you in terms of, So, first of all, um, the course is heavily customized. So, as I said, if you're coming from an IT domain or sales domain, or you are a student, our teaching methodology is going to be very, very different. So, that's first level of practicality. Second level of practicality, I think, is uh, we don't uh, download a theory book on you, right? Um, it's an experiential learning, right? Our role plays, group discussion, day-to-day situations. Uh, you will get your debate competitions. So you get to speak a lot. You get to practice speaking a lot than just learning what to speak and how to speak and all that, right? Third, it is customized for your specific domain, right? Uh, if you are from sales, we'll talk about English for sales or communication skills for sales. If it is for techies, we'll say communication skills for techies, and so on and so forth. And last but not the least, we have built this with a lot of research over, as I said, the 40 years of knowledge is kind of blended into it. And so the idea is that you are uh, able to walk away with uh, pragmatic tips that can help you get ahead in the career. So, role plays, group discussion, customization, and uh, you know, uh, adapting the course for your specific job and function are the biggest practical. I think 3 or 4 uh, elements that I can talk about. And as I said, it's for you, it's about you, it's for your success. So we let you speak a lot and practice a lot before uh, you know uh, before you can get into the practical world. The idea is that we want to get you ahead in career by using these practical tips that are covered as part of the program.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan. So the next question that I have, and I'm gonna be very quick with this one. What tools or technique does the course use to help professional overcome their weakness or blind spot? So a lot of times I'm not aware of what are my weaknesses. So how is this course designed in a ways that I can help myself?
Yeah, so I think it starts with diagnostic test. So it will tell you where you stand as of today. It will identify gaps on a international standard where you stand right now. And then the teacher will walk through with you to uh, build a very customized plan for your learning. Uh, so if you are, weak in a one particular section, for example, impromptu speaking, then the teacher will work with you on impromptu speaking and make sure that you are comfortable, to get there. So there's diagnostic test, there's a customized training plan, and then we go through, role plays, group discussion, listening exercises, MP3 files for listening exercises, right? We can give you, we also launched an app, by the way, simplyenglish.ai, that you can download on your Android phone, and like a chat GPT, ask any type of questions, right? So these are kind of, assessments giving you practical advice through the tools like simplyenglish.ai and role plays, group discussion, that is used very, very extensively to help you bridge the gap of learning that you may have, or these are kind of some of the useful tools used in the program. And we also bring in sometimes experts, webinars like these. We bring in from all over the world. So you are not only getting a theoretical communication program, but also, connecting with a lot of people externally to make sure that you can get the latest, nuggets of wisdom from the experts outside, uh, from the outside world as well.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan. So for everyone, Mr. Madan just mentioned about a tool, which is a Simply English application, simplyenglish.ai. Anyone can download this application using the QR code that is in the chat box right now, or I'm just gonna give the Play Store link on the chat again, so everyone can download the application, and this is absolutely free of cost for anybody who's attending the today's webinar. It is absolutely free of cost. It is going to be free. It'll be for you to use chat GPT to experience the AI, which can enhance your learning experience as well. That being said, I would request everyone, if they have any questions, they can actually put in their questions in the chat box. I'm getting a lot of requests on my personal box, but it'll be helpful if you all can post in your questions in the group chat itself. Mr. Madan, the next question that I have, how does this course stay relevant in addressing the challenges faced by professionals in different industries or countries, I would say? I mean, because you talking and addressing a lot of countries right now, I would want to understand, so this course is different for different countries, or if it is customized for everyone, so how it'll be relevant in addressing all these issues?
Yeah, so I think, to be frank, the generic course is same for all countries. I think it's quite frankly, the profit course, um, I would say the communication skills are pretty much universal and common, with few modifications here and there for the country. But let's say if you're doing a IELTS or an OET program for, let's say, going to UK, Canada, Australia, then I think you will be given a very different instruction. It's not profit program, it's actually a IELTS and OET program. But I would say general communication program is pretty much same for the country with minor modifications, country by country. And the whole idea is to make sure that you get practical, relevant, and succinct knowledge for improving your communication skills. And I think ProFit, as the name suggests, professionally fit. The idea is to make you professionally fit. Okay, we're not saying your exercises, your weight program. We're not talking about fitness of that nature. We're talking about a fitness of professional nature, right? So I think usually most communication skills are common all across the world. As I said, if you come to us for specific exam preparation like IELTS or OET, of course, those are a very, very different course. The only other thing, yes, I would also like to add is if you are, learning how to make resume as part of this program, then of course every country has a different, process of interview and resume, uh, that we will cover. I can tell you I've probably spoken to more than 5,000 plus people in terms of interviewing them, and I can tell you there are hilarious examples of what people would do and say in the interview. So we have built a lot of that knowledge into our program to prepare you for jobs. For example, jobs in the UK and the jobs in the US and the jobs in India require very, very different expertise, including uh, the virtual interview skills. So because virtual interview skills these days are very, very common, right? So some etiquettes of virtual interviews, if I may call it here, is be on time, have a good internet connection. For example, for this webinar, Akshit and I were there 3 minutes before time, right? Most of you were before time. I could see that 80-90% of you came on time, right? Now that's simple etiquette, simple skill, uh, does, is, has got nothing to do with communication, but a simple trait that will set you apart from the rest of the crowd. Because, like in India, we are used to coming late, and this chalta hai, right? It will work somehow. That doesn't work in most of the international environment, because if you're late by 2 seconds, it's considered a crime, right? So yes, there are some differences by country, but broadly, I think etiquettes, communication are universal. And for specific test preparation program like IELTS OET, of course, there are very different course material and very different syllabus that we go through with our audience.
Sure, sure. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Madan. So I have another question in the chat box. So Mr. Girivar, sorry, he's asking that I am working in industry as an electrical engineer. Right? How this Profit course will help me to improve communication, English for meetings and presentation. As for presentation, need face-to-face training to improve of technique of presentation like standing and speaking, etc.
You know, so to be frank, I think, Girivat, I feel I've been in the online industry for the last 18 years now, and if not 18, at least 15. And what I have noticed is, as long as there is a motivated learner and a great teacher on the two sides of the screen, anything can be taught. Okay. So I think presentation is, yes, it's not about just the body language, right? So if you have an online session on video, you can even give an example of the body language you're going to use. For example, I'm going to stand. If I were to do this, I will stand up, explain things so the audience can see me see complete picture of mine or video of mine. But I think the idea is that if you run a focused program which gives you right tips on the presentation skills, and if you are a motivated learner, you'll get it. Okay, the medium doesn't matter, to be honest. Okay, in the program we will cover tips and strategy on building a good presentation, how to deliver it, how to manage your tone and clarity, during the speech, and of course body language, etc. as well, right? So the course is a lot more detailed, and I don't want to steal the thunder from the teachers who are going to run this program. But at a very high level, It covers very, very practical um, tips to deliver a presentation, I think, over video. And then what you do is you also go through a lot of practice, by building presentation, by rehearsing it, by showing it to your peer, and then learning from the others' presentations as well. So net, I think the medium does not matter, but the approach and the pedagogy and the practicality of the program does matter. And as I said, for any learning to happen, you need a motivated learner and an impeccable faculty.
Okay. Thank you so much. I hope Girivar, thank you. So that I hope this answers your questions as well. Mr. Madan, before we end this program or webinar, I would want to understand how can one enroll in this program and what are the benefits that they have attending this webinar now?
Yeah, so I think very simple. You register on our site, eAgeTutor.com, or I think call a number that actually will just put it up on the in the chat box. You can call on the number. You can go to a chat bot on our platform and interact with us. Simply fill up the registration form, and one of our uh, uh, executives will give you a call and help you register for the program.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan. And I would request everyone to keep their phones on a ringing mode, because you will, after this webinar, you will be receiving a call from our team asking about the feedback of the webinar and giving you all the offers that are available now. So, Mr. Madan, the last question that I have for you before I end this webinar, and I hope this one question came in a lot of time. So what is the one piece of advice or mantra that you live by and that you believe can help every professional succeed in their professional life?
Yeah, I think a couple of things, right? I would say things like integrity, things like punctuality are evergreen traits that one need to have. I'm not going to preach, and give you big words. I think what I am only going to say is, if your communication skills are up to the mark, if you're able to articulate your point, communicate it well, present it well, and get it across, that's the biggest asset that you can have. Even the billionaire Warren Buffett says that if you have a great communication skills, that's the most critical element you'll ever need in life. Number one. Number two, there was a survey in Economic Times back about 10 years back where it said those who can communicate their point across well will earn 35% more than those who can't. Okay. So bottom line is communicate well in a way that you can articulate it to get your point across. You can present to your point across. And the only way to learn this is through immersion. And our Pro Fit program allows you that chance of immersion that you can get through our, through the duration of the program. I will not say that only communication will get you across the line. The basic technical skills and punctuality and integrity and hard work needs to be complemented. But one skill that can make difference is how well you communicate with your audience.
Okay. So for everyone, this I'm just dropping in the webinar code. So this is one code that you can share with our teams to get maximum benefit of the webinar. It's not just one way. We would want you to get more and more benefit and more knowledge about how this program will be helpful and how you can succeed in the program. All the information will be provided to you on the helpline numbers that are mentioned above the message. One is 9599060043. That is Piyush. 9599660178. That's myself. So you can call in anytime, give this code, and take the benefits of the code of the webinar and the course particularly. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan, for your time. I request everyone to please drop in your questions if you have any on the WhatsApp numbers above, and we see you again in the course.
Thank you so much, audience. Thank you so much for joining, and I wish you all a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.